Hey, what's up everybody? It's Rox and I'm coming to you today with the next installment of Roxicology. I know I don't do these often enough. They just take so much energy, you guys. We got a lot of letters today, so I'm not going to be all long-winded. I'm just going to give you guys my answers and I'm going to go on from there because otherwise we're going to be here for 2 hours. I already feel like this video going to be like 45 minutes long, going to take up all the damn memory on my computer. But anyway, let's get to it. I am a 38-year-old single mother of 2 here in Atlanta. I recently moved from Detroit to start anew, and in between raising my kids and working a full-time job, I've managed to finally start my own business. I'm very happy and fulfilled at this stage in my life. After a relationship I was in went all wrong, the heartache was a little too much for me to take. So in 2009, I stopped dating completely. I took the time off to work on myself and I dedicated myself to my kids and my new life in Georgia. During my break, I feel like I learned what to look for when it comes to men. And when I mean by that is I feel like I've learned to see those red flags with precise vision. And trust me, I can spot bullshit from a mile away, or so I thought. Now here's the problem. I recently met a man who is from Kenya. He works with the disabled, and after seeing him a few times, we talked briefly. He seemed nice, so we exchanged numbers. I gave him my number at 6 p.m. on a Monday. I told him that I didn't get off work until 10 p.m. He called me at 10:01 p.m. that same night. The conversation wasn't much because his accent is so thick and I have trouble understanding him, and that's frustrating to me. But we've decided to go out, and that following Friday, that following Friday. I haven't been out in a long time, so I said, okay. In between Monday and our date on Friday, he called me first thing in the morning every morning. He sent me texts throughout the day and would call me no later than 10:05 p.m. While some women may think that this is a good thing, I don't, and frankly, it got on my nerves. Friday came and he called me more than usual that day. He seemed excited to go out with me, but by this time, I'd already made up my mind that we would meet at the restaurant instead of him picking me up. When I told him this, he questioned why, but he complied. Well, we went out, and I can't lie. I had a real decent time with him at first. I think that a lot of that had to do with the 4 vodka and cranberry cocktails I had. We went to a spot with a live band, so there wasn't much deep conversation since it was so loud. Now, at some point during the night, I ended up sitting in the booth next to him instead of across from him. We had an innocent kiss. Then he kept turning my head to kiss me 2 more times. Even though I let it happen, it made me uncomfortable. And because of my low-cut top I was wearing, I kept pulling it up because I felt exposed. He said, "Don't let nobody see my titties." I didn't appreciate the comment. I told him that they are not his, they are mine, but I let it go. At this point, I'm a little inebriated, but not at all drunk. But I guess he thought I was because he took that as an opportunity to invite me to his apartment. But I told him no, and that was pretty much the end of that night. After the date, the calls became more frequent than before, and he was addressing me as his baby. I don't think so. He tried insistently to get me to come to his apartment, offering to cook me dinner and whatnot, and I declined because I'm not the type to go over anyone's house unless I'm totally comfortable with that person, and I didn't feel that with him. I honestly had a gut feeling that if I had went, it wouldn't have been a good situation. He called me the other night and I told him I was on the phone and I would call him back in 10 minutes. After the 11th minute, he called me back asking me why I didn't take him back. That was the final straw. I told him that I think he is a nice guy, but I'm not ready for anything right now because I'm so busy. But the truth is I found him to be a bit too damn clingy, and he got on my last one. He sounded like he was really hurt, but he said he respected me and what I was saying. Now I feel bad because I don't like to hurt anyone, but he had a lot of those red flags. Now I am wondering if I was too hasty in telling him that. I feel that over the last few years I have become smart when it comes to men, but maybe he was genuinely a nice man, and being that I have never dated a man from Kenya or anyone that wasn't American, maybe this was just his way of doing things. I know that men are men, but have I let my heart grow cold over the years, and I've been out of the game so long that I'm not willing to give anyone a chance? I have someone close to me that I told this situation to, and I was told that I did the right thing because men from Africa have a different culture regarding women, saying that they are very possessive and aggressive. I don't know about that, but I would appreciate any feedback you can give on this matter. Well, I can tell you honestly that I hate a clingy person. I just don't do well with people who don't give me my space. And you know, I'm a Capricorn, and Capricorns are happiest when they're left alone. So on that note, I can really understand how somebody like that could get on your nerves, because just reading the letter got on my nerves. He did kind of seem to come on kind of strong, and you know, just from my experience with African men, I've never been in a relationship with one, but you know, I know that some African men can be a little bit persistent and determined. I wouldn't say possessive or aggressive. I don't know if that's really how they are, or if that's just a stereotype. Like I said, I've never been in a relationship with one. So that part makes it really hard to say. You would probably have to go on your gut like you've been doing and kind of weed out, you know, the bullshit. On the same note, it's very easy to become comfortable, you know, being by yourself and not having to deal with another person and just nitpicking on every single thing that a guy does. I kind of feel sorry for men today that have to, you know, that's all in the dating pool, because, you know, we got so many things that we require of a man. We want attention, but we don't want too much attention. We want you to call, but we don't want you to call too much. We want you to show affection, but not too much affection. You know, it's just, it's hard. It's got to be very difficult. And those first few weeks of dating is really the worst, because really nobody knows where the other one is coming from. You know, we don't want to look too loose, but we want to seem interested. You know, we don't want you to think that we some sort of hoe, but you know, we don't want you to think that we so frigid that you can't like at least try to kiss us. So it's just like all this whole tap dance around dating that makes a shit really rough. And I can see why a lot of men just be like, fuck it, I ain't calling nobody. My gut tells me that if he made you uncomfortable, then he made you uncomfortable, and you can't force something like that. If you just uncomfortable, ain't no sense in trying to make it work if it's not working. You don't have to overthink it just because you've been out of the game too long, you know, because you know still what you want. You are going to put yourself back out in the dating scene and everything. Don't let it be too heavy. I mean, you know, go out with a few people, and the ones that you don't really like, then you get rid of them right away. The ones that are a good time, then you keep those ones around. You know, it don't have to be nothing heavier than that, you know, because you really are just trying to get back into the swing of dating. And then when you really feel like you want to start thinking about a for real relationship, then out of the ones that you have a good time with, then you start to weed it down to the ones that you really feel that you could have a relationship with. But you know, all of that is like real far off along in the future. Right now, you just go out and have yourself a good time. And like I said, just get rid of the ones that you don't like, you know, hang out with the ones that you do like. That's just basically it. I'm a college student, and I have a friend that I've known since middle school. We used to be really close, but at this point in time, I feel like I'm only friends with her strictly because it's a friend of convenience, meaning that since we attend school in the same city, it's convenient for us to hang out and still maintain our friendship. And because we've known each other for a very long time, she's a very nice, kind person, but I think we're growing apart because of the simple fact that the way she conducts her life is in the total opposite from the way I conduct mine. The main problem lies within the fact that she is the whole friend. She is extremely promiscuous with her body count in the hundreds. The stories of her sexual escapades used to be amusing and entertaining to my younger self, but now that I've matured, it's kind of unsettling to hear. She always plays the role of the side chick, mistress, and/or jump off, giving herself to any guy that pays her a compliment. I know that her promiscuity is a direct reflection of her bad upbringing, broken home, lack of parental figures, low self-worth, etc., etc., etc. But I don't know what to do because she is very hard-headed. I want the best for her, but I'm torn. Now that I'm older, I don't think it's a good look to keep someone who conducts themselves like that within my circle, but I also don't want to give up on her since I do feel it's an effect from her horrible childhood. Please help. Oh, the whole friend. We all have a whole friend. I have a whole friend, but I don't have a close whole friend, but I do have, you know, some associates that are whole friends. So yeah, I kind of know how this thing works out. You don't really want to drop the whole friend. You really do want to help the whole friend, but the whole friend ain't really trying to hear it. We are definitely products of our environment. I always believe that. So yeah, that sure does affect the way that she makes the decisions for her life and everything. If you're not really seeing eye to eye with her on her decisions and her life, then you're going to have to make decisions on your own whether or not this is somebody that you want to have within your circle. Maybe you could tell her, like, girl, I do not want to hear those stories no more. I just can't be listening to that. It stresses me out. And just let her know that they bother you. You don't want to hear the story no more now. If she feel like she still got to keep on telling you about what she did, who she slept with, who she got with, you know, this one, that one, all of that, then yeah, you're gonna have to make the decision. But yeah, I do have the whole friend. Now, I haven't cut any of my whole friend acquaintances off because I haven't had to. I know how to distance myself from those ones. But you know, like I said, I don't have any close whole friends. I don't know if you've even told her, like, girl, you a hoe. Okay, sometimes we just got to say it like that. You a hoe. They looking at you like you a hoe, so that makes us believe you a hoe. And if she's still fine with that, then you've done your part. I will say this though, many times we are judged by our company. A lot of times if you hang with a whole friend, then you are judged by association with that whole friend. So you might want to think about all that before you make your decision. I'm 19 years old and I haven't spoken to my father in a year. It all started during graduation season of my senior year. My father lives in Atlanta while I reside in New York. My graduation was taking place in June and I reminded my father months ahead to prepare for my big day. I thought it would be special for him to enjoy my accomplishments along with me. While my graduation date grew closer, my dad never gave me a straight answer on whether or not he would be attending my graduation. Finally, the weekend before, he told me that his money was tight and he couldn't make it. I was so disappointed but didn't voice my emotions to him. The day before my graduation, I noticed my father's Facebook post read, "Enjoying a vacation with the family in South Carolina." Immediately, I took offense to that and sent him an angry text. I didn't understand how he didn't have enough money to come to New York but could enjoy a vacation with his family. It felt like a slap in the face. After he read my text, me being upset with him became the new gossip among my father's side of the family. I never showed any anger with him before in my years of living, and we got along well for the most part. The next day was my graduation date, and I never got a phone call the entire day to wish me congratulations. I was immediately offended, being that my stepmom and grandmother took the time out of their day to do so and to also apologize for not making it to New York. It is now a year later, and my father and I still haven't spoken. He doesn't call me for my birthday or any other holidays, and word around my family is that he believes that I am to blame. I am wrong for not speaking to him, and should I patch things up with him or wait till he confides in me? Your father is wrong, plain and simple. Now, I'm strictly going by what you said in the letter. I don't know what's happened with you guys in your relationship over the years in the past, but from what you say, it sounds like that you guys have been pretty good with everything, and just this one incident just kind of messed everything up. But in this case, I really am going to side with you, and I really think that your father is wrong. Graduations are a big deal. I mean, as parents, even if we're not always physically there, you know, our main goal is to get our children through high school, let them graduate, and then we turn them off into the, you know, the big world. And it's a big accomplishment. He should have been there. And if he couldn't have been there, then he should have been truthful with you. Now, it sounds like he has a new family here in Atlanta or whatever, and maybe it's hard for him to draw the line or make decisions between the two, you know, if he has to do something for one part of his family or the other part being you. That might be hard on him. Truth of the matter is that he is going to probably be the most loyal to his family here first, because he's not there with you and he did not physically raise you, from what it sounds like anyway. Now, he wasn't truthful with you because he knew that it was going to hurt you. He knew that he was wrong, and he was avoiding it. Now, he probably forgot that Facebook consistently updates everybody that's on it. So, you know, he got to talking too much on Facebook, and then his business was put out there. It makes me feel good that, you know, his wife and his mother realized that it was a big day for you, and that they called and at least said something to you about it. I mean, that makes me feel like it's not just everybody in his family that's tripping. It's really just him, and I'd be willing to bet that he probably feels bad about what he's done. He probably doesn't really know what to say to you to try to fix it, and so in his mind, he's justified the whole situation by making it seem like it was your problem. It really wasn't your problem. You're the child, he's the adult. I think that you should reach out to him because, you know, it's just somebody has got to make the first move, and you know what, you'll look around and it'll be 10 years past and you guys still won't have talked, and it'll be so much harder to talk then. I mean, it's already been a couple of years or something like that, and it already is difficult. So, yeah, I'm just saying, be the bigger person and, you know, make the step forward. Now, you could write it all down, because I myself find it much easier to talk to somebody and get my emotions and my feelings out when I write it. And it's better sometimes to write it because it gets all the emotions of the crying and the, you know, you might end up saying some shit that you didn't really want to say and make it worse and everything. You write it down, you get it very precise of what you want to say, and then you send it to him. If he doesn't try to come back and, you know, reach back out towards you and try to get the whole situation fixed, then you've done your part, okay? But I really think that he's just stubborn and knows that he was wrong and don't really know what to do from this point on. Now, he can keep on trying to make everybody think that you was the wrong one and everything, but you guys know who was right and who was wrong. Send the letter to him and hopefully he reaches out. If he doesn't, then you've done your part. Alright, you guys, this is a long letter. I'm not going to read the whole thing. I'm going to break it up for you guys, but here goes. My name is, I'm not going to say her name, and I have an issue that has been brewing for some time. I have this best friend that we'll call Joe. We've been friends since high school. He was 2 years older than me, but he was just like a big brother to me. We were friends for like 5 years along with our other best friend, another girl, and we were the trio. In the senior year of my high school and he was in college, he was with a girl who was a junior in my school at the time. I met her and I thought she was nice. Since we were in the same school, if I would see her, I would wave or try to say hi to her, and she would never say anything back to me. I thought that was very weird and rude. I was trying to be cool with her because that's my best friend's girlfriend. After trying to wave and say hi to her all the time, I decided to just leave it alone and leave her alone as well. In my mind, I just did not like her at all, and I told Joe that I tried, but she just seemed rude. I guess some people at the school got wind of it, and she would tell them that she didn't have a problem with me and thought I was cool. Okay, very confusing. Though if we ever had to be around each other, I would just be cool because that was my friend's girl, and I told her that I would always try, and she said she never saw me waving or saying that, hey. At that point, I just let it go. I graduated and went off to college, and me and Joe were still thick as thieves, talked to each other every day like we do, and then one day he asked if I liked him. I was like, what? He said that I always act a certain way around him and that I seemed like a flirt. I had to check him and tell him I never liked him, and we had been friends since I was 16, and if I really wanted to try something, it would have been done by now. And he came to his senses and said that I was right and he was tripping. I asked why he thought that. He didn't want to tell me who was saying anything to him, but he finally did, and he said his girlfriend said she knows that I like him and all this. And I'm like, what the fuck? She wanted to talk since I'm gone. Later that week, she Facebooked me, tried to act like she was nice, and blah, 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 blah. Me and Joe, alright, so then there's a little kind of inappropriateness in their friendship, let me tell you. Me and Joe always say something like, oh, shut up, fool, kiss my ass, or he would say, suck it, or I would say, suck my dick. In a way, I guess I saw where she was coming from, but me and him talking like that for years, and it didn't seem a problem with me. When he called to tell me that she was mad, I told him I would talk to her, but the way she was coming at me was, you guys, it is a whole bunch, okay? I cannot read the letter, is entirely too long, but basically what it is that they had this friendship. She was best friends with the guy got a new girlfriend. There was all the girlfriend feels threatened by the best friend, and started being in the boyfriend's ear about, you know, your best friend is, you know, wants to be with you and all of that stuff, you know, insecurities or whatever. And the best friend and the guy ended up, their relationship just looks like it's just getting worse and worse and worse. And she doesn't really understand what's happened to their friendship. And you guys know how it just goes. Now I'm just going to tell you this. Best friends that are opposite sex definitely can be a mess. Because when the best friend that's the opposite sex finally gets a mate, then it's all this tension somewhere. In your situation, I would say that the girlfriend is threatened by you, okay? And I wouldn't say for a fact 100% that I wouldn't feel the same way if I was in her shoes, okay? Because you are this woman who is really, really close to my boyfriend. And, you know, you seem to know his every move, maybe know him even better than I do. And, you know, a lot of insecurity. I mean, people are insecure like that. I would be lying if I said that I wasn't either. What the woman should really try to do is really become good friends with you, because that way she would kind of know if you really were going to be the enemy, she would kind of be very close. But, you know, people don't know that. Maybe as the best friend, I'm going to tell you that maybe you should back off a little bit. I know you don't want to do that. You probably feel like you shouldn't have to do that, but you know, everybody has their lane, and the way you guys are going back and forth so much, eventually the friendship is going to self-destruct anyway. You know, he's in a relationship with a woman right now, and he's already told you in your letter that, you know, what she says goes first, and we have to know that when a man meets a woman or vice versa, then everybody else gets put on the back burner. If you're really trying to be in a relationship that's serious with this person, then they come first. They come before everybody, and that includes the best friend a lot of times. And that kind of sucks for you, but that's the reality. If you had a best friend that was a girl, and she got, you know, all wrapped up with her new boyfriend and everything and didn't have as much time for you, you would understand. So you should probably be the same way with this one. It's time to just kind of pull back a little bit and let him live his life. Now, you know, the relationship might not last. The shit might just kind of go downhill, and you'll be able to get your friendship back the way you want it to be. But you trying to, all this conflict and everything, I have a feeling that he's going to choose her first. And you don't want to be in a situation where he has to choose. You just need to just let him live his life with his new girl. Let him figure out his relationship on his own. I'm 22 years old, going on 23 coming this October. I knew from an early age that I was born in the wrong body, and based on that, I have started transitioning when I was 12 years old. With that said, I basically lived most of my life as the female I was meant to be. I completed my transition by the time I was 17, sex reassignment surgery. I have been dating the love of my life for 4 years now. In the beginning, I told him I couldn't have kids, and he was cool with that. I told him it was because of another issue other than the fact that I wasn't born a female. I thought, as well as my family thought, I'd never need to tell anybody about being transgendered because I was seen as a female before puberty. Now my boyfriend, who's 25, wants to become my husband, and I just don't know if it's right to marry this man without being completely honest. My family says no, but I feel it's different now because he wants to make me his wife, and I just don't want him to accidentally find out years later down the line with someone else. Mind you, he and I are both black, and that just makes it even harder. What do you think? Thoughts and opinions? Okay, this one is easy. Yes, you definitely have to tell, for sure. Because what is a secret if at least one other person knows about it? It's not a secret anymore. And this is a situation where eventually, it might be today, it might be tomorrow, it might be 10, 15 years down the line, he gonna find out about the fact that you were born a male, and it's gonna be a mess. Okay, now, I'm not saying it's going to be easy, and you might lose them, but you might lose them anyway, and you might as well get it out of the way right now before years and years pass and it's even more damage is done. I mean, 4 years have already been a long time. I'm not saying that you should have told him right when you guys first got together, but somewhere along the line where you thought that it was starting to get serious, that probably would have been the best time to let him know, so that he would, you know, so he could make the decision on his own whether or not he wanted to invest these feelings in you or not. There are some men that are okay with transgender women, believe it or not. I know a lot of people out there are going to be like, oh, hell no, whatever. But it is. It happens. The world is very big. You cannot believe that everybody is in just a regular old man-woman relationship. You just know that it's not. There is a YouTube channel that I follow. Her YouTube channel is called No Choking. I believe that's the name of it. Her name is Diamond, and she's a transgendered woman. She was born a male, but she's a woman now, and her channel is really, really good. And she had a situation just like this where she met like the love of her life, and you know, it was getting serious, and she finally had to tell him, and she lost him. So, but she knew that it was time to tell him. And you guys should check out her channel too, because she's really, it's a really good channel. But anyway, and I learned so much from her. I mean, because I don't know nothing about that, but I just like to know about interesting people and different things, people who have different experiences than just me, and just like to learn new things. But yeah, you guys should check out her channel. But yeah, I'm just going to tell you that you need to tell him, do not plan a wedding with this man without letting him know what happened, okay? I'm a junior in high school, and I've been dating this boy who's a senior for 7 months now. I feel things are just starting to get real serious between us, and I can tell this because he often tells me and he treats me ways no other guy has ever treated me. But now his ex is starting to come back into his life, and they've been dating for 2 years. They hang out, text, and he picks her up from practice on their lunch break to go get food on a daily basis. Sometimes I feel he's going to pick 2 years over 7 months. I tell him now I tell him how I feel about the situation, but all he says is let things cool down first. It leaves me in confusion. Is he saying I'm his girl for whenever they have problems and break up? What do you think, Rox? Okay, I have to remember that you're in high school, because the grown part of Roxanne was really fixing to say a whole bunch of shit, but then I have to remember that, you know, you're in high school. Now, let me just tell you that nobody should let themselves be an option. Why are you letting yourself be an option to this guy? I mean, if he has you and he has this other girlfriend, what makes you think that he's even going to make a choice? Okay, he got the best of both worlds. He has you both, and you guys both seem to be okay with it, so he's not really going to be forced to make a decision, because neither one of you forced him to make the decision. And you shouldn't have to force anybody to make a decision. They should do what you know, they want to do. Now in this situation, he is doing what he wants to do. If that's not what you want, if you don't want to be with somebody that's dating other people, then you need to leave him. Okay, I know he treats you really well, and you know, he makes you feel a certain way or everything, and that's all good, because we all want somebody that treats us good and makes us happy and makes us feel good and everything. But there's other people that can do it. I know people say things like, you ain't nobody gonna love you the way I do and everything. Honey, let me tell you, there's plenty of people that's gonna love you, probably love you even better. That's all it is. You need to let it go. You know, if you're trying to be in a relationship strictly with him, then you need to find somebody that is gonna also be in a relationship strictly with you. This is another one that's very long, so I'm not going to read the whole thing. You guys going to get the gist of the situation. I'll try to break it up for you, okay? But here goes. I've been with my boyfriend a year now. He is 32 with a 4-year-old little girl, and I'm 23 and have no kids. I love him a lot, and he loves me. Since we've been together, we haven't been apart more than 3 days. I love being around him, and we plan on getting engaged soon once we save up enough. The age difference really has not been an issue at all. We are together almost every day and get along really well. I've been with him for the year and about 5 months. Here's where the questions come in. I have 2 questions really. First one, I love having sex a lot. With the last serious ex, we had sex like 4 or 5 times a day when we would see each other. But my boyfriend now is like once a day and sometimes none. I love him a lot and feel like he's the one. Do you think the sex would harm our relationship? Second is his baby's mama has a boyfriend who she lives with. I have never met or spoken to her in my life yet. She does not like me for some unknown reason. She always compares what he does for me to what he does for his little girl, even though she has no idea what he does for me or how he treats me. And she told his brother's girlfriend, which is her best friend, that she does not like me. I don't care about the problem is that they have a 4-year-old little girl and another one real long. Basically, you know, the parents have a agreement that if they're going to have their child around a new mate or something, then the other parent has to meet them first. Okay, that's understandable enough. But the girl never wants to meet the mother never wants to meet the girlfriend. So, you know, and she talks bad about the girlfriend and all of this stuff. So that's, y'all can kind of figure out how that goes. She's been with her boyfriend 2 years and lives with him. I believe she still has feeling for my boyfriend. He swears she doesn't because she left him because he cheated on her. P.S. My boyfriend never says anything to her about what she says about me because he says she is still going to say it and it's not going to change anything. All right. You guys crack me up with these questions, I promise you. I'm just going to tell you like it is. People who don't meet sexually, who don't see eye to eye sexually in relationships is just setting themselves up for failure, okay? It's setting yourself up for infidelity if you guys don't meet eye to eye sexually. I don't care how good that a person makes you feel. I know a lot of times people try to take the weight off of sex and say that, you know, if all of the other things are there, then you don't really have to worry about sex too much. No, when everything else is there, sex still is a big part of the equation. You're not going to get a different kind of answer out of me. If you guys can't get together sexually, then I am telling you, that it is not going to be a good thing. Now, what we really need to discuss is why the hell you having sex 4 and 5 times a damn day. Okay, now maybe you got the problem, because 4 and 5 times a day having sex every day is excessive. It's just too fucking much, okay? And you gonna run brother man off because he's 32. Now, he done been past his prime, 18 years old or something. You haven't even hit your peak yet. Now, you gonna be done killed that poor man. He can't be fucking no 4 and 5 times a goddamn day. No, he cannot do it. That part is a big deal. Even though you are so in love and happy with everything the way it is now, I'm telling you that this sex issue is gonna become bigger. Eventually, it's gonna become bigger. Now, the next issue is the baby mama situation. Now, I've never dated anybody that had kids, so I don't really know exactly how this works, but I've had enough friends and people that have been in this situation to know that these relationships, when you get involved with, you know, a man that has kids or a woman that has kids, then you got to take the drama that comes along with it. And so if you got the baby mama who goes back and forth on whether or not she wants to meet you or not, then that's just something that you got to deal with if you really want to be in this relationship with this guy. The problem that I have with the situation is that he doesn't seem to really take up for you or really try to make it happen for you, and that raises like a red flag in my mind. It's like, why doesn't he want to say anything? He's not really trying to bring you guys close together, get you guys to meet, and that makes me feel like maybe there's something still going on with him and the baby mama. Now, I'm not saying that it is. It might not be nothing, but that's something that you need to keep your eye on. That's something you need to realize, that a lot of times that the reason why the men don't want you guys to be meeting is because he wants to be able to keep his cake over here and his ice cream over here, and you know, he wants to be able to eat them both but separately. And that's just some perspective. I'm not saying that he's cheating, but it's weird that he doesn't want everybody to kind of work together so that you guys can see eye to eye. Another thing is, why is she complaining about what he does for you? She knows some kind of way. Somebody's telling her. I'm not sure if it's him or if it's the best friend, the sister, whoever you said all these other people were. But yeah, she's too involved in you guys' relationship, and that is making me feel like something else is up here. You're 23. I'm not saying that you're a baby, that you're stupid or anything that you might not know, or none of that. But he's 32. I think he's a little bit more cemented in the game. He kind of knows how to kind of do things a little bit more that you probably would miss. Yeah, if you're going to be in a relationship with a man with a baby, and a baby mom and all that stuff, then this is stuff that you have to deal with. However, you need to get together with him and really kind of make it clear that you need to make some steps, having my back, and let's try to get me and the baby mama on the same page. I'm 20 years old. When I was about 16, my mom came back into my life after leaving me and my dad when I was about 2 years old. Anyways, I didn't hold any grudges against her. I still wanted to establish a mother-daughter relationship. One day she told me that she was going to take me to get my hair done. When we arrived at the hair salon, there was a guy standing there. The look he gave me was priceless, and it made me question him a little bit. Anyway, after the hair was done and we left the salon, then 2 weeks later, after I told my mom that I needed my hair done again, she told me to go to the same guy, which I didn't have a problem with. Then I got there. He was really cool, and we sparked up a conversation. Then, just out of the blue, he said, "I know your mom doesn't want me to tell you this, but you are my daughter." My heart stopped, and then I said to myself, he's probably playing a trick on me, but he wasn't. He told me he wanted to spend time with me to make up for all the years he had missed. I was completely confused because I knew that this man wasn't lying, and because the dad I had knew for all these years really wasn't my father. I started spending time with the new guy, but I just couldn't do it anymore. I hated the fact that I was lying to my dad about where I was going and who I was with. The thing that got me even more upset is when I tried to talk to my mom about it, she denied everything and told me the only reason she told him that was to get money from him. And she warned me not to tell my grandmother or anyone on my dad's side of the family. But why would you lie about something as serious as that? Why would you hide it if it was only for a lie? After a while, I cut the guy off. He has been cut off for about 4 years now, but I feel so bad because I know it wasn't his fault. My mom lied to everyone about everything. Every time I try to talk to her about it, she tries to play it off, and I'm just like, what the fuck? I feel like I've been lying to my dad and my family about everything, and to be honest, I hate my mom a little for making me feel this way, basically let me down again, and by doing this bullshit to me. what would you do? Would you tell your dad or would you keep it to yourself? Okay, the first thing is let's talk about your real biological father. It was wrong of him to just spring it on you like that. He should know that people who are not prepared for the conversation like that are thrown off guard when you just come out and say something like, I'm your daddy. So he was wrong for that. But what I really don't understand is why would your mom send you to this man knowing that he is the father, and probably even knowing that he's been wanting to tell you this for all this time? It's like, why would she put you in that situation? Did she really want you to find out? And then when you had the reaction that you did that wasn't the way that she thought it was going to be, then she tried to flip it around on you? Yeah, I'm mad at your mom for even setting that whole thing up, because it just doesn't make sense to me. Now she's put you in a place where you feel like you have to choose between your biological father and, you know, your actual father who raised you, who you really consider to be your dad. And you know, it's just a place that somebody shouldn't have to be. I don't really think that you have to make a choice between your biological father and the man that raised you, because the man that raised you is your dad. Okay, that is the person who was there for you, the one who took care of you, the one who fed you, clothed you, did everything for you. This other man didn't do it. Now, he didn't have a choice, maybe, or whatever the fact was, but he was not that person. That's not saying that he can't be there for you today, but in a different way. Your father, the man who raised you, is always going to be your father, the man who raised you. This other guy, yeah, he could probably have a part in your life if you really wanted him to have a part in your life. But you got to clear up all this other stuff first. Frankly, my loyalty would not lie with my mother. She wasn't there growing up. She didn't raise me. Yeah, we've been trying to get this relationship back on track over the years now, but my loyalty wouldn't be to her. My loyalty would be to my father, the one who raised me. I would tell him. I would let him know, because why are you keeping this secret for her? She's put you in a place now that you're uncomfortable, that you're upset, that, you know, you feeling bad, and, you know, it's just too much stuff on your shoulders when you didn't really do anything. You know, children don't choose to be here. It's the parents that do it. We all got in the bed and decided to get together and make this baby, and then we fuck up their lives like this. So I think that, yeah, you should be able to tell your dad, and you should make it clear to your dad how you feel. Yes, I still do love you as my father. Nobody will ever take your place, but you can have a relationship with this other man, you know, but on a more grown-up adult level, because it seems like you do want to have a relationship with the other guy as well. And if that's what you want, then that's what you should have. I am currently enrolled in college, but things are not going as I planned. I just found out that after all the work I have put in, the college no longer offers my program of study in the format I was taking it. The majority of the classes no longer count towards my degree. I only found this out after going to the department head to ask for advice. My advisors are pushing me to change my major because things are so screwed up. I am a single mother of two, and I simply can't afford to do so. I have decided to drop out of college to attend beauty school, but I am busting my behind to finish this semester on good terms. I am very passionate about cosmetology and can see myself being very successful in the field. I am afraid that withdrawing from college may affect my financial aid and leave me assed out. I am sitting down with the FA department to discuss my options, fingers crossed. I do plan to work an extra job to subsidize what FA will not cover. Enrollment starts in September, and everything inside me says yes. I guess I just need an outside perspective. Am I making the right decision? I feel in my heart that I am. I just want to make a better life for my children, and I feel having my cosmetology license is a start. I am at a crossroads in my life. Roxstars, pray for me. My gut feeling is, if you feel like this is something that you need to do, then this is what you need to do, because I always feel like whatever you put your mind to, you will be successful at. As long as you really are serious about, you know, being determined and going after it. If that's what you want to do, if you feel like cosmetology, I mean, there's a lot of money in cosmetology, a lot of money in hair. And there are a lot of people that are successful. There are a lot of people that are not successful. That's why I'm saying that you really have to be determined. I mean, you sound like you are. I mean, as parents, we really just want to make a life that's good for our children. And I can totally understand that. You know, being able to financially provide for your child is really like, that's like at the top of my list. I won't tell you that dropping out of school is going to be the right or wrong decision. Again, that's just, you know, you're just going to have to decide for yourself. But if you feel in your gut that this is what you need to do, then this is what you need to do. I am an African American woman in her late 20s. I have decided to return to college to work on my master's degree. During this time, I had to quit my job and return home to live with my parents. Now that the majority of my last few courses are online, I have decided to job search again and in the field that I am studying. I have had a few interviews but have yet to be employed. I have made the decision to search outside of my home state. My main issue is my family. I'm the youngest of 3 children. I feel as though my family does not wish for me to have a career outside of our home state, but I really want to move forward in my career goals, and I feel there are better opportunities elsewhere. I am close to being done with my master's degree and have seen good choices outside of my home state. These jobs offer a good pay scale too. I feel as though my mother and father are trying to persuade me to stay local. I do not wish to hurt their feelings or make them feel as if I'm trying to get away from them. In my heart, I feel as though my destiny is someplace else. How do I explain to my family that I am an adult woman now and that it's time for me to move on? I love my mother and father. They have been very supportive of my goals in obtaining my master's degree. They have allowed me to stay in their home in the process. I will be forever grateful of the sacrifices that they made for my future, but now it's time for me to move on and find my place. I know you're a parent and I would like to have your point of view. How do I tell the 2 people that have done the best for me that I want to move away to another state? How do I explain to them that I'll be okay, that I won't be running away from them, to stop thinking for me and to allow me to make this decision? I don't want to stay here just to satisfy them because my own happiness is just as important too. Now you know what I'm going to say here. Actually, I'm going to give you both sides because I've been in both of these places. I am the baby in my family as well. And my parents have done so many things for me, so much that I can't even begin to explain to you guys. That my parents have been very supportive and just have helped me out beyond compare. Now, when your parents really are there for you, a lot of times they kind of just think that you need them all the time. And we do need our parents. But they start to believe that you can't do anything without them. And a lot of times you just have to kind of let them know that no, even though you've been there and you've done a lot for me and I really appreciate that and I love you for it and everything, it's really time for me to try to step out on my own and really make a life for myself. You might not even really 100%, and that's not saying that you won't ever need them again, because even as an adult, I have needed my dad. So I understand why your parents feel the way that they do, being the baby of the family, and that, they really had to help you out a lot. Now, on your end, you can't really live your life, trying to be there for your parents and, staying there for your parents and everything. I'll give you my example. I really didn't want to move to Atlanta from Los Angeles. I was really against going, and my parents were getting up in age and everything, and I wanted to stay there and be close to them. But with everything that happened in between all that stuff, I mean, look at what happened. My mom passed, and my dad is getting up in age. I mean, life is going to go on. Your parents are not going to be there anymore, and you have to kind of make plans for your life, what's going to be best for your life. I would really hope that your parents would understand that, yeah, maybe it's time for them to loosen up the strings a little bit. Now, I know as a parent that we really want to be able to make sure that our child is safe and everything, and that's probably what they're thinking also. But you're going to have to be able to do it on your own eventually. This is going to be something that shows them that you are growing up, that you're finally, becoming responsible and starting to do things on your own. And yeah, I think that if you really, really do make the move, they really do see that you're serious about it, they're not going to have a choice but to accept it. So, good luck to you. I would really appreciate your advice on a marital issue that I'm having with my husband. We've been married for 27 years now, and we have a 21-year-old son together who's a senior in college. I've been a damn good wife and mother throughout our marriage, but my husband is having numerous affairs behind my back. I know his infidelity has been going on for about 3 years now, but I'm honestly afraid to confront him about the issue. He's not abusive or anything like that. It's just that when it comes to him, I seem to get weak because he is the king of our castle. Anyways, a few months back, I spoke with my sister-in-law, and she told me that he's always told their parents that he was going to file divorce after our son graduates from college. His mother lives in Mississippi, and he's down there most of the time tending to his tramp bitches and his rental properties. I'm home alone for the most part, and it gets really lonely at times. How should I handle the situation? Should I file for divorce? I absolutely love your channel. My kind of opinion is, if you already know what's going to happen, why are you sitting around waiting for it to happen? I'm not going to tell you that you should get a divorce, because obviously there's other routes that you can go before it gets to that point, like counseling and things like that. But 27 years, and you know that he's been cheating around and that his plans is to leave you, then why are you waiting for him to do that to you? I'm trying to read into the letter a little bit more. It sounds like that he's a very good provider for your family. He has rental property, he travels a lot, he leaves you a lot, you know, so evidently he has the money to do so, which means that maybe you are taken care of, and that's probably what you mean when you say king of castle. I'm not really sure what you meant there, but if you do rely on him financially, then yeah, I guess it would be more difficult to just up and leave. But you're going to have to get a plan B somewhere in there, because the time is coming. Your child is going to be graduating, and then what? You're going to be really, you know, scrapping around trying to figure out what you're going to do for your life. No, I think that it's time for you to put some plans at work. At least get a plan. At least get a plan. You need to remember who comes first and take care of her. And by her, I mean you. Alright, you guys, I know this video is long. I am so sorry. I missed my whole lunch. I got to go back to work real fast. That I got a couple of letters that was so fantastic, so fabulous, that I had decided not to read them because it just was going to be messy. It was starting stuff about celebrities and people who did things, and it just did not seem really all that credible to me. Now, I might be wrong, and if I am wrong and I didn't read your letters, I got about 4 of them. If I didn't read the letters that you guys sent about, you know, all this scandalous kind of stuff, I don't really want to have my channel be involved with that kind of stuff. Now, if it was really some way that I could prove some of these things, then yeah, I would go on and read it. But I'm not just going to be sitting up here entertaining folks, just be entertaining folks. I hope you guys understand. But that's it, you guys. I want you guys to remember to rate, comment, and subscribe to the channel. I'm itsrox. The channel is for itsrox. Everything else I do will be in the bottom bar below, okay? All right. Am I talking really fast? I really want to get me something to eat, but I don't have the time. I hope that you guys all have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day, and I plan on doing the same. Until next time, Roxstars. Bye.